Hey guys, it is Arika Misha, and God led me to come talk today about I know it hurt when they let you down. I know it hurt when they let you down. I know it hurt, and God wanted me to come and speak from my personal experience, on this subject. I'm sure we all, have been through things where we have been let down by someone and, it hurt. You're depending on them to do something and they didn't come through with it. And, I've shared different stories and different things here on my platform, about, trusting someone and being let down. And God wanted me to come and talk about this today, and I know it hurt when they let you down. I know it hurt. And just, in my time, spending time with God, talking to God, and, just sharing with God about some things. And, of course, we know God knows, I know God already knows, what I was going to come to him about. And I was just, talking to God and saying to God about how, somebody let me down, and how it hurt, that they let me down. And I was like, God, God, you see what she did? I was like, God, you see how she handled that? I was like, God, that really hurt, Here I am, being there for her, I'm dependable. Whenever she needs me, I'm there for her. And when she needs me, I'm there. Never a second guess, never got to turn it. I'm right, I'm always there. Y'all know how it is now. Now, we've all experienced that where we always there for somebody and then turn around, they don't be there for us. Now, come on now. We've all experienced that, like in some capacity. And I was talking to God, because something had happened. And, I said to God, I was like, God, that really hurt, like here I am, ride or die for her, always there for her. And when I needed her to be there, she wasn't there. And I'm telling you, that thing really hurt me. And I'm telling you, I know I'm not the only one. I've heard people talk about this. Like we know what it's like to be hurt by someone that we depend on. No matter what, family, friend, coworker, like you never know. Like who? It could be anybody, And, in my situation, it was someone that, I was, close to, and I was there for her. I was there for her. She's been there for me, but the thing about it is that something happened and I was, something happened, and it was very important. And, I was expecting for her to be there, something very important, not just something petty, not something petty, oh, you ain't pick me up on time or, not something petty, it was something very serious. It was a very serious situation. And, they had said, okay, yeah, they were going to do it, blah, blah, blah. They were going to do it, yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay, all right, good. They're going to do it, no problem. They said they're going to do it. They're going to do it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. But the thing about it is that when it came down for them to do it, and it's like, why am I chasing you? You say you're going to do it. Why am I chasing you to do it? Why I keep calling you going to do, what, where you at? What's going on? Why? I mean, you say you're going to do it at a certain time. Then what happened? Like, what happened? And then every time I call, it's something different. And I'm telling you, that thing really hurt me. It hurt me, and God wanted me to come and talk about it today because, I was talking to God and I was saying, God, that really hurt me. And you know what? I went to God about it because it hurt me. And when I was hurt, it made me angry. And I know me. Now, come on now. We know ourselves. And I know me. When I get angry, when I get angry, and I know once my anger gets to a certain point, I'm like, okay, God, it's to the point, that my anger has gotten to the point where I can't control it. And what I try to do is I go to God because I don't want it to get there. See, because when my anger gets to a certain point, and God is helping me. God is dealing with me, teaching me how to deal with my anger. God's dealing with me on this. This is why I'm sharing it. And I said, God, I'm hurt and I'm angry. And I said, God, you know me, God, before it gets to that point where I get angry, because when I get angry, that's it. Shut down. Done, cut off, done. When my anger gets to a certain level, bam, that's it. Bam, cut off, through, done. And I said, God, I need your help. I need your help, God, because I can feel myself getting to that level. And God began to minister to me. And God was just telling me to just calm down. God said, I know. God said, I know they hurt you and they let you down. I know. He said, I know. I see it. He says, I know it hurt. He said, but you got to control your anger. Control your anger. Control your emotions. Control how you're feeling right now. God said, I am here to comfort you. God said, I'm here to comfort you. He said, I know. He said, I saw it. He said, I know. And it hurts even more when it's somebody that you're real close to and somebody that, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, it hurts more, it hurts even more when it be family or a close friend. And, and I said, God, she really hurt me, and I was dependent on her and she wasn't there. And God said, you got to understand. God said, I know you're upset. He said, I know you're even angry. God said, I already see you ready to cut the line, ready to cut off, God said, I already know you. God said, but you got to calm down. You got to calm down and understand that people are going to do things to hurt you. People are going to do things to upset you. The same way somebody makes you happy, they can make you sad. The same way somebody can be for you one day, they can be against you the next. And that's what God was talking to me about. God was saying, don't get yourself so emotionally caught up in any situation where you get so angry, where you just want to cut me through, don't want I'm through with you. God said, calm down. God said, now, since they showed you this, God said, now you know how to handle them. He said, like my grandmother, my mother say, with a long handle wooden spoon. God said, you just love them from a distance. You just put a little space. That's all. God said, why you getting yourself so worked up? Why you getting yourself so angry? Why you getting yourself so angry that you're about to do something out of the will of God? Because we can get so angry now. When we get that anger allow us to do stuff. Now, we all know now, anger can cause you to do some stuff. And God said, before you get so angry when you're doing stuff out of my will, God said, calm down, get yourself together. God said, don't allow your anger to control you like that. And y'all already know when it's somebody close, like you get it hurts you even more, makes you even more angry. Like, how could you do this? Like, how could you do this? And God was just telling me, God said, man is flesh. Man is not perfect. God said, now that they've shown you who they are, God said, just from a distance, it's okay. It is okay. And I'm here to tell you, it is okay. It's okay. When somebody shows you who they really are, you can't allow them to keep hurting you over and over and over. You just gotta put them at a distance and say, okay, all right. And that's what God was ministering to me about. God was like, okay, so now you know how to deal with them. He said, okay, they've shown you. Okay. He said, why are you getting all worked up about it? God said, calm down. And that's what I love about God. When we get so angry, when we get so caught up in our emotions and our feelings, God is such a comforter. He is such a comforter. And I truly need that comforting. I know me, when that anger starts to boil and get higher, and I'm like, okay, God, it's to the point now where I know how to get it down and get it under control. But sometimes I don't. And then I know me. I say, God, help me. Help me, God. Help me. God, when I get to that point where, and God knows when they get to that point where I can't reel it in, I got to go to God. And I thank God that I got enough sense to know to go to God. Okay, I'm getting angry. Okay, God, I'm here because I'm getting real angry. And God He just comforts me. He just comforts me and He holds me and He just calms me down. And most of the time it's God telling me, girl, do better. God says, what you all worked up for? God said, girl, calm down. But I'm telling you, sometimes God He be straight up like that. Girl, calm down. Get yourself together. He do. But sometimes He be gentle too. He be like, okay, come here. I got you. Calm down. It's okay. But y'all know God got to talk to us like that sometimes. Girl, get yourself together. Ain't that serious. But it's what God wanted me to come and talk about today.